Well, good morning. Welcome to Growing in the City. I'm Joe D. All right, it is July 21st, 6:30 a.m. The city's beginning to wake up. You can hear the noise out by the street. And this morning we're gonna do some inspections on the plants. We're gonna do a little bit of watering. And one of my subscribers asked, how often do you water and how much? Well, we'll get into that this morning. But first off, let's take a look at the command center here. This is my little workstation. It's temporary. I set it up because this year I wasn't planning on doing an outdoor grow, but you know how it is. The ladies find you. If you're lucky, the cannabis plant will seek you out if you're cannabis happy, centric, you know what I'm saying. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of the tools. You can see I have all sorts of little devices here. We got an unbelievable sprayer here. You got to have some good sprayers. I do have a pump sprayer right over here, so I use this for different applications. I use this one for more the pest management, and I put an extended hose on this the last time I had it in my greenhouse. It's battery operated, it's pressurized, it is awesome. It's a 5-gallon tank, so you fill it up once and you can spray all your plants. We'll get into those in just a minute, but let's take a look at some of these things. Now, this morning I noticed, and I don't have any in my bench here, so on Thursday I'm going to the grow store. I'll do some videos there for you guys, and we'll talk about a couple different things, but I need to pick up some reference solution. If you're new to growing, you really should have a decent pH pen. Now, there's lots of good products on the market today. You can buy the inexpensive ones. They'll last probably a year, maybe two if you take good care of it. I've had Blue Labs for quite a few years. I've been happy with those, but I have had others. I like to have two on hand, but I don't right now because I just moved to this property, so it's packed away. Once I unpack for my indoor grow, then I'll be able to find that. But you know, I was measuring this morning, and because I don't have any reference solution, which is basically when you're doing a Blue Labs, you need a 4.0 and a 7.0. It's a 2-point reference. So when you're calibrating, you can see here, this is the calibration instructions right there, which is really cool that they put it right on the device itself. But you know, I was measuring the water. I was mixing up, and I'm adding in some CalMag and some silica. We'll talk about that too. So, but I just wasn't confident that it was measuring correctly. And when you have reference solution, you can just put a little bit in your shot glass. You should have a shot glass, which is a measuring device, and we have multiple measuring devices. I'll show you those too. So hang with me. And if you can't watch the video, come back and watch it later. But I'm going to put a little bit of reference solution in that, but I don't have any. And I'm going to test it to make sure it's accurately measuring. And I use the 7.0 reference solution, and the display should show 7.0, right? But this morning, the tap water here, this is a municipal water, by the way, and that's why I use a hose end. Oh, it's over there because I was watering some of the plants, but I wanted to mix some extra CalMag and some silica. But when I was measuring the water, I noticed out of the tap, it's usually around 7 to 7.2. Right now it's showing 7.0. This is a fresh bucket of water I just filled up. This is actually a measuring bucket. You'll see it has measurements on the side, but that's not important. But it's showing 7.0, which is okay. In pH, potential of hydrogen, 6.0 to 7.0 is a safe zone for watering your plants, for absorption of the nutrition that it needs in the soil. But I like to be, typically in soil, I like to be 6.2 to 6.5 is kind of my go-to. So I can adjust this, but I can water right out of the hose. That's fine too. But again, when you're using a pH pen, you want to give it a little bit of a swish, and you'll see it changes. So that's 6.9. So between 6.9 and 7.0. But I can adjust it with some adjusters. So I have pH up, and I have also pH down, which is an acid. So this acid will bring it down. And when you only use a little bit of the acid, because it drops real fast, and you have to use a lot of the pH up, which is your base, to actually get it to come up. And this is a potassium. What are they? I can't remember exactly. It's potassium. Where is it? It's on here somewhere. Now I have to see it. Oh, there it is. Potassium carbonate. I should know that, but I don't. Potassium carbonate, that brings it up, but it takes a lot more of the up to bring it up. And so if you go too heavy on the acid, you'll notice you have to use a lot of this to bring it back up. Similar to the human body. Your blood's acidic, and if you can get it alkaline, cancers can't grow in an alkaline base. But having a reference solution, I can test it to make sure it's measuring. Now, I just brought it through calibration. I went through it, cleaned it, all that stuff. So you can see the check mark, which means it's okay. So I want to be able to test that to make sure it's measuring accurately. And if not, this is a few years old. I may have to get a fresh one. So I hope not, because they're $100 and I don't want to part with $100 right at the moment because I'm spending it for everything else. Now, you also want to store the head, and this one has a little cup. If yours doesn't, just fill a little bit at the bottom, and that way you keep it hydrated. That's important. Oh, cloning. We're going to be doing some cloning soon because that's what some of these ladies are for. I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to do a clone. If you've never done cloning before, it's actually pretty simple. It's just understanding a few basics of how to, having a humidity dome. We'll get into that because I just picked one up the other day. And yeah, I'll show you that. This is the liquid solution, and that's the hormone right there that we're going to use. So we'll get into that in the next couple of days. But back to the water. I think having an optimal pH is beneficial. I've been adding in some CalMag. This is by Roots Organic. Great product, by the way. I really love this one. Whenever you have any of these organic products, you really want to shake them up really well. But the calcium opens up ion channels for your plant, so it's derived from Keserite gypsum. You can see that right there. Nice. Now there's no nitrogen in this, which is really cool because you can use it all the way through. So the calcium is 4% in value, and the magnesium, which are all beneficial. And there's some sulfur in there too, 4% on the sulfur. Yeah, baby. Now silica comes in multiple different manufacturers have it. Rhino Skin is one by Advanced Nutrients. I can't remember them all, but when we go to the grow store on Thursday, you guys will come with me. We're going to go take a look around. We're going to talk about different products because sometimes it's, well, a little overwhelming when you go to a grow store and you're not sure and you don't want to ask. You don't want to sound like you don't know what you're doing. I'll guide you through that stuff, so we'll take a look around. But silica helps the plant feed more and also strengthen the cellular structure, helps it to reduce from stresses like drought stress, heat stress, stresses that we cause to the plant. So this helps it feed a little bit more. This is a silic acid with an iron complex. Really love this product. Works fantastic. You can see it's been outside. It's got wet. But I keep it in the shade when the sun's out, so I don't leave it getting hot. Measuring devices, I have all types of measuring devices, whether it's for dry amendments, liquids, all these different measurers. They need a good cleaning. I'll be working on that too. Let's see some of the other things. I have an extra pH up. I've got my integrated pest management. This is for caterpillars. This is the Lost Coast Plant Therapy. Spraying this time of the year, but this is going to change soon because we're beginning the early stages of regenerative. That means the plant's getting ready to flower. In June, in New England, this is where I am, by the way. I'm in New England. So New England, June 21st is the summer solstice. That's the longest day of the year. And after that, you lose anywhere between a minute to 2 minutes a day after that point. So we're 30 days after the 21st. So today's the 21st of July. So we've lost, at least 1 to 2 minutes a day. And it depends on where you are, relational to the equator, basically. But it's beginning early. I've seen some little white hairs coming out, the little pistils. We'll take a look at that. Now, just a few other tools, some watering cans, a little trash bin for your waste. I also have some recharge. I use this once a week. This is adding your microbes back into your soil. Foliar feeding, I'll do that once a week just to make sure the plant's getting absorption of all the minerals that it needs, just in case I'm a little behind. Over here are my stakes that I use to put in the plants. But let's go take a walk over, guys. Let's take a look. Now, I had to mow the lawn yesterday. It's nice and clean, but I got to work on this lawn because whoever was taking care of it was not really doing, in my opinion, a good job. All right. One of the things that I do, oh, there goes the dogs. You can see them over there. They see something. Yeah, they're on guard. They heard something on the other side of the fence. They're about to, they're quiet, they're stealthy. They'll sneak up on you and bite you. Oh yeah, that guy right there, he is fast. So they hear little noises and stuff, and they go to work. But anyways, back to the lawn. I got to clean up the lawn, work on that, get the pH balanced here. You can see there's a lot of dead grass over there. Whoever was cutting it, they're trying to cut it like it was a golf course. When you go too low, it dries out and your grass goes dormant. But if you keep it high, I like to keep 3.5 to 4 inches, and then I mulch it. So I put my mulching attachment on my John Deere. That's my John Deere tractor right there. Tractor. It's a lawnmower, but I call it a tractor because, when I grew up, I want to be, that's my Binford 2000 snowblower. That thing is a beast. You'll see that in the wintertime. I'll do some videos on that, but sorry, I digress. Some of you people are like, get to the point, Joe. Teach me how to grow some weed. I will. All right, so one of the questions is how often do you water and how much do you give it? Well, you can see I have these in all different size pots. This grouping over here, again, these ladies found me. They found me in little groups, like the ones in the 10-gallon pots. Those are 10-gallon grow bags. They're plastic bags, they're inexpensive. This plant, this one, this one, this one, and that one. They were leftover mothers from a very large project I was working on. We did over 13,000 clones for a client for up in New York. 13,000, man, was that a lot of work. So these were some leftover mothers, and they were supposed to be picked up by someone that wanted them, and they, you know what, they flaked out. They just didn't show up. They were waiting, and then I'm like, hey, what do you guys want to do with those? You want to toss them? And they're gonna, you know, I hate to do that, but you got to do it. And he said, do you want them? I'm like, all right, I'll take them. Then they found me, and I'm like, and they're sparse. They're really not perfect, you know, not developed like those. But I really want them just to take some clones off of it. I'm not really looking for flower production or anything like that. So all these grouping over here, these are all going to be just for getting a clipping or two off of it. Probably take 2 from each plant, and then I'll clone those out. So again, if I get some flower off of it, that's great. I'll probably give it away. You know, I don't really get into the heavy weight of production. It's really about development. I'm interested in developing unique genetics. And that's the reason I'll take some of these clones, is because I'll take some of them, if they're really wow factor, I'll probably do a reversal, pollinate, and then I'll cross-pollinate with some other plants. I also have some genetics I'm going to be working on that are regular seeds, which I like that because I can get a male, or I can harvest a lot of male pollen. But anyway, so I got 10-gallon pots. I've got, these are 2-gallon pots here. So watering is basically, you learn after a while. Feel the weight of the bag, lift it up. If it feels light, great. The other thing that a plant will do is when they need a lot of water is they'll start to sag. They'll get sad like this. They'll start hanging. You can tell. You go like, oh shit, I gotta water that. And that's a stress factor, by the way. But when you do dry them back a little bit, the roots will they'll start searching, they'll stretch. So there is a benefit there too. So again, these 10 gallons will probably get a gallon of water when I do water, and I'll water depending on the atmosphere. So if it's really hot and dry, these will dry back a little faster. So right now they're getting watered every 2 to 3 days. I'll water them with at least a gallon on the 10 gallons. The little pots, they'll get like less than a half a gallon, probably more like about a quart each one of these. And then the little tiny ones, those are just kind of having some fun with those. Those are like half-gallon little pots. They need to be transplanted. I'm actually probably going to give them away to a friend of mine, let him throw it in his garden. So Jimmy, if you're seeing this, those are probably going to make it over to your garden. And anyway, so my objective here is this grouping here in the 2 gallons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another one over there, which is the 6th, right behind that little pot there. Those are, I'm really interested in, is just getting some clones off of them. It's late in the season to really get them to develop to become large plants. So, you know, you might get an ounce of weed out of each one of them, but that's really not my goal. My goal is to get the genetic code, because some of these are really interesting. So let's take a look, because I know some of you are curious. This one here is Animal Face, Cookies and Cream over here. This one, and these were from Ed Groen, who's an amazing grower, by the way. Black Ice. This one I've got my eye on. This was, I guess this was a collaboration with Capulator. So he created a lot of really high-end killer genetics like Mac 1, which I ran for about 4 or 5 years. But anyways, Black Ice is a cross between, I think, Oreos and Mac 1. I've seen it finished. It's very frosty. But I wasn't wowed by the terpenes. But maybe, again, I think that's something that can be worked on. That's potential, so I got my eye on that one. Let's see what else we got here. We've got Hippie Crasher. And then over here, what do we got here, Joe baby? This is another Animal Face. So I have 2 Animal Faces. You can see some yellowing here. So that yellowing is representative of translocation. But these are being fed, and I always get those off there. These are being fed salts before I got it. And then I had to get it into soil, because that's how I'm growing outdoors. I don't do a salt grow on the outdoors. I may do that on the indoors, but I like to clean up the dead leaves. These are going to need some attention. But anyways, that's translocation. The plant's taking the stored energy out of the chlorophyll that it needs, those basic carbohydrates, those sugars. These need a little attention, a little cleanup. But basically what they're doing is they're transitioning to get a relationship with the soil microbes. All right, so microbes are the workers on the job site that help feed the plant. And right now, this is what's happening right now, and they're looking nice and happy. This is morning dew, by the way. So we had a warm day and a cold night, and that's the dew that builds up. That's the big challenge here in New England. When you start to get into September and October, you got warm days and cold nights, and you got these big dense flowers going on, hopefully. That's when you get molds. So you got to be aware of that. So we'll talk about that later in the season. But let's take a look at these ones. These are in the 30-gallon cloth bags. They're looking pretty good. I like I did the LST, the low stress training, pull them out, and all the internodes are growing up just as I was hoping they would do. They're looking nice. Let's see what else we got going on in here. There was a little bit of chewing right there. Not that bad. This is from the past. They get like that, I just take it off. But yeah, they're looking nice. Let's see if we can see any white hairs coming in yet. Oh yeah, they're just starting. Now these are the ones that I topped. If you saw the last video I did some toppings. Let me see if I can get in here. Let me zoom in so you guys can see that little cut point right there. I topped that off, and by doing so, what happens is the nodes start to drive outward. So these nodes are starting to drive upward. See that? You can see this is starting to drive upward. So basically what I'm doing is I'm stopping it, boom, and it has to repair itself. And while it's doing that, these have a chance to catch up. And so they become nice nodes that push outward. And again, that's for more yield. And that's the objective. So, and because I didn't want them to be up to, 8-9 feet, just stop it right there. Let's take a look here. Yeah, look at that. Now, normally when I do that, I would use some hypochlorous acid and spray it on there. That helps to neutralize any potential issues. Hypochlorous acid is actually made with salt. Basically, it's electrolysis in salt, and you create a free chlorine. Matter of fact, your white blood cells produce hypochlorous acid and helps your body to stay healthy. So it's a miraculous little product, and you can make it just out of some kosher salt. Not regular table salt. But anyways, you'll see that process, how these ones doing. These were topped as well. Take a look in there. Okay. You can see the little pistils starting to form, the little white hairs, and that's basically showing its sex. So if you're running regular seeds, when you see the white hairs, you go like, all right, I got me a female. There you go, right in there. You can see that starting. All right. Again, you can see the lateral growth starting to come up because I topped it. Look at this right here. Start to see these start to drive up right here. And that's the objective. Get those to drive out. Better yield, easier to manage. Looking good there. This one is a shrub. And I'm seeing a lot of translocation in here. So I was at this earlier. And that means it probably needs some more food. It's not really... I did the soil and I've done some top dressings. It just hasn't worked its way into it, so the plant is still hungry. So it's taking some stored energy. I may have to look at an additional product on Thursday when I'm at the grocery store and add this into my regimen. So you can see that translocation. This is the natural color of your leaves, by the way. The chlorophyll fills it in. It's the carbohydrates, the sugars. It's pretty. I love that look. Isn't that pretty? I really do like that. Anyways, yeah, everybody's looking good. And just getting everything taken care of this morning. Then I got to go to work. Yeah, looking good, looking good. But the key here is you've got to pay attention to your plants. I look at them twice a day, early in the morning, and then when I get home, I go and I check them again. Now, these have been moved around. I keep moving them. I keep turning them. So each day I'll take like a half a turn. I just grab the handle down here and I just spin it. It's real simple. Now this one needs water. I can feel it's light, so I'm going to give this a good watering. All these three need to be watered next, but I'm going to do is I'm going to water in some calcium and some silica. So that's why I'm mixing up over at the bucket over here. And don't forget, if you didn't see the other videos I did, you want to filter your water because if you have well water, it might be a little different. Like in New England, the wells are usually have high iron in them, manganese, stuff like that, and that's okay. But you still, I always say to well owners, when's the last time you had your well checked? Oh, when we bought the property. When did you buy it? 10 years ago. Come on, bro. Check your wells at least once a year. Send out a test. It's cheap. And that way you know that you have good clean water, not contaminated. Because you're pulling from the aquifers underground. In New England, it's a lot of granite, so you're pulling up. If there's a contamination site upstream and you're pulling that, you don't even know you don't have that. You think because it's well water, it's super healthy. It might not be. Check it. But anyways, I'm on municipal water. That means the city produces it. And I'm going to filter it right at the hose end. Now, you could put that at the other end of the hose, which is up at the house. But what if I have contaminants coming through the hose? I want to squeeze those out. So I like it at the hose end. So we're going to fill this up, get some CalMag in there, some silica, and we're going to hand water that in, and then I'll use the hose after that once I get those nice and moist. So they're getting a little dry. I watered those, I think 3 days ago, so they're ready now. They're nice and healthy. They're not sagging. They're starting to perk up. The sun is just starting to come out. It was a foggy morning. It'll probably burn off in a little while. All right, guys. So I appreciate you coming and hang out with Joey D in the City Growing in the City series. And hopefully you picked up a couple of nuggets and something that might help you in your grow. And as always, that's right. May those resins bless your bowl today. Peace. Happy growing. Don't forget, yeah, that's right, you knew it, right? Sharing, well, that's truly caring. See ya.